Welcome, everyone. Wonderful to see you all here together on the day of the new moon. It is said that it's a super new moon. Today is the Lunar New Year, also for people in China, that part of the world. So I don't know much about astrology, but what I understand, it's the new moon is always a good time to set intention for the next step. But that there are many planets going forward, so everything is speeding up in all worlds. So we will see how we will use that today or not. And that's what I understand, but I feel that anyways, and probably you feel that too, how energetically I feel we're all strongly invited to be really anchored in our nature. I'm really, really happy we're here together today on this day. I don't know how the weather is where you are. Here it's just gorgeous. We have sunshine and it's cool, but it's just wonderful. And it's wonderful to see you all. So just take a moment to look around who has their little window open, and just kind of, while you're resting in yourself, sitting in your own seat, just take a moment to take all these other beautiful people into your heart. You don't have to take care of them. You don't have to do anything for them. Just receiving everyone in your consciousness. Wonderful. So today, I would like to start with a short guided meditation to really help us to be here. And then from there, I will speak a little bit, and we'll open it up for any sharing, any questions, anything you want to share from your own experience. And as always, I love to hear from you, how you are doing, what's going on in your world. So make yourself comfortable in your seat. So you have a sense you can sit for a little bit like this without needing to move and adjust and etc. And then when you have found your comfortable seat, just lowering your eyes and welcome in. See if you can welcome in all of you, all the different bodies, your physical body with all its wonderfulness and its aches and pains and pleasure and perhaps neutralness. Can you welcome in your emotional body? Perhaps there are emotions, perhaps not. Can you welcome in your mental body? Perhaps it's fast or slow moving. And can you welcome in your visual body? Any imageries? It's kind of a welcoming in of all the bodies, how they are right now. And perhaps that can make us more available to learn to trust that all these bodies have their own pace and their own way of being right now. Can we let them be, move, do whatever they need to do or not? And then let's also welcome in our spirit body, our body being, the body of being. Steady, open, and still. So see for a moment, what is it like to welcome in all these bodies exactly as they are? Basically welcoming in you, all of you, exactly as you are. And I want you to know you are so welcome here, exactly as you are. And just see what it's like to hear that phrase. All of you is welcome here, exactly as you are. And just notice if anything bubbles up or not. And then letting that go, letting that be as it is. And then notice how your body quite naturally is being breathed by the breath. Just while you're resting your consciousness, your attention, your bewustzijn in your body, feel your body receiving the breath, breathing your body. Really feel how your body is being moved by the breath moving your body. On the in-breath, the body expands in all directions. And on the out-breath, it comes back to itself. So keep on staying with that a little longer. notice the longer you're resting your consciousness in your body and receiving the movement of the breath moving your body, that something starts calming a little bit, kind of a peace that comes over you. Can you receive that? Now, sometimes that can be a challenge because there can be movements in other bodies, emotional body. Perhaps there's a deep sadness right now, or anger, or happiness. What is it like to allow your body to experience those emotions? They're just here. And then just softening back into that movement that the breath brings in your body. Expansion, contraction, the ebb and flow of life. And even resting more deeply in your body of spirit, in the silent body. So then we have our humanity and our divinity here, our silent body resting as the silence of our being, te rusten als de stilte van ons zijn. And simultaneously, while we're resting as the presence of our being, we're allowing any other body to do what it does. So when their emotions, sad, happy, pain, pleasure, anything, we let that do its own way too. Everyone, you want to be yourself. Every part of you wants to be itself. Every bone and cell in your body wants to be left to itself. It's not how we're trained. We're trained to do, get rid of, change, manipulate, control. And that's fine if you want to do that. But here we're going to take literally our hands off and relax in our bodies, which means resting your consciousness, resting your attention. Laat je aandacht rusten in je buik of in je lichaam. Letting your consciousness rest in your body. And then naturally, we're relaxing back into our body being, the silence of your being. So we have our whole family here, our inner family. So just know we're anchoring in that spacious, silent being, which is everywhere. It's in and all around the body, to the edges, all the way to the edges of the universe. There's this deep, deep silence, the presence of your being. That's home. That's you. And then any movement of mind, feeling, sensation, anything, emotion. It's you too. So all of you is welcome here right now. So let's take for a moment. Let's make a choice to really soften back in and as the silence of your being. What can be helpful in that is just feeling the back body, feeling the back of your back. Either just like that or feel the back of your back body touching the back of your seat. Just knowing I'm held. And it's like falling back in and as the silent being that you are. Silent presence that you are. De stille aanwezigheid die je bent. So for now, make that choice if you're able to. Feeling that back body. The breath is still breathing your body. And receiving the silence of your being. Perhaps you feel how the silence starts deepening, comes wider, more to the forefront. And then consciously make a choice where your attention, where you want to put that. Do you want to put that in the back body, silent being, or do you want to put it perhaps in an emotion or sensation in your body, something that wants your attention? So for a moment, again, just choose where do you want to rest your attention. Just kind of giving that caress of the light of awareness, of attention to anywhere in you. Not to figure anything out, just to let that light shine there. The light of silence. And just notice what happens. And then choose, if you want to bring your attention back to the silence of your being if it wasn't there already. So it's your choice, your freedom, where you choose to rest your attention. And perhaps you notice when you come back to the silence of your being, to the presence of silence, that it's naturally deeper, wider. And then choosing again to bring your attention to a place in your body, physical, emotional, mental, visual body, where you want to put that. Where you want the light of silence rest its attention now. And noticing what happens when you do that. And then consciously choosing again to rest back in the back body, in that pure being, the silent being that you are. Just noticing what happens. And then for the last part of this sitting, just choose what you want to do. If you want to keep on going back and forth, or want to rest in and as your nature, or wherever you want to go, all of you is welcome. And just play and notice, find out, be curious what you notice.
while you receive a taste of where you can put your attention, where you can really make a choice, where you want to rest your consciousness, your attention. So take a moment in the whole, in the name of the celebration of the Lunar New Year, of the super new moon. That is today, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Take a moment, like where do you want to choose to bring your attention, the heart of your hearts? What is it that your heart wish is, where you want to rest your attention to kind of bring into your life or deepen, want to have deepening happen? So take a moment to feel into that as a new moon, super new moon celebration, Lunar New Year celebration. And trust whatever comes. It can be very simple. And then shoot it into the universe, your heart wish that you really would love to deepen, love to truly kiss and commit to, give your heart to, your devotion, devote your heart and attention to. And then shoot it out in the universe and just let it go. It's done. And let's sit for another minute in the silence, knowing that life will show you what wants to be lived from your heart wish. And receiving a slow, deep breath in and letting go. And receiving another slow, deep breath in and letting go. Letting your eyes flutter open and coming back into the space, the Zoom space. Moving your body if it wants to move, stretch, or in any way, shape, or form. When we really connect with our inner world, all these inner bodies, outer bodies, however you want to say it, there's something very powerful when we deepen our intention and attention to really make that choice, that conscious choice. Here is where I want to rest my attention. Here is where I want to be. I don't want to be out there or there or there. No, I really want to be here. Maybe pulled out there to look at my cell phone or see who's visiting next door or things like that. That will all happen to all of us. But when we really dare to make a commitment, I commit to resting here, or I commit to, I follow this course, or I commit to what my heart's longing is, to step by step follow that heart's longing and keep going. It's kind of almost like a narrow path we're on. And simultaneously, it's a narrow path, but in another way, it's the widest path, because the more narrow we are and clear what we want to do, where we want to rest our attention, the more, you could say, your beloved that you rest your attention on can come to you, can answer back. And it becomes this love affair with yourself, really. This love affair, what your heart wants to live. And within any love affair, as you probably have noticed, there are beautiful times and there are challenging times. So sometimes it can be challenging to say, oh, okay, I made this commitment, I made this connection with my heart wish, and this is what I want to follow. And then there are all these other things I want to do. No, I'm going to be here. Like, for instance, in my own life, this afternoon, I want to do 5 different things. Of course, I'm not cloning myself yet. And I've chosen, I chose for what I'm committed to. And I'm committed to writing something. And I'm committed to, I start a course on Monday. And I'm committed to be really well prepared to that. So I let go of all the other 4 things that I think are really super cool to do too. That's the beauty of life. We have so many possibilities. Sometimes it takes us away from our real heart's longing to dare to live that. Fear of missing out, FOMO, fear of missing out. We will always miss out. We are right now missing out on 10 million other things we could be doing. So it takes incredible attention, intention, heart to keep following that connection that you have chosen to make with your heart, and then that you want to live, that you know in your deepest self that wants to be lived and that wants to be expressed in this world, because that's how it tends to be. At least in my experience, there's first this time of really going inward and taking time. What is it that wants to be lived? What does my body need, or what do I need to attend to? And then put that in action. Bring this energy that was all here, bring that to life, bring that forward, and back it up with all of me, with all of you. And we can start with good intentions, and then we do it for a few days and then we get lost. How does that happen? You know, how does it happen that we have so many, just such sincere, beautiful intentions and heart wishes and wanting to upgrade ourselves in our humanity, and then we fall back and, I just let it go again. I don't know if you know that place where you really want to follow something that's your heart wish, and then you let yourself distract. Well, it definitely has to do with conditioning. That we're I don't think we can get to the extent that we can get how much we are living in a distraction society. It's really, really, really intense. We're used to it. We used to multitask, and we're even praised for being able to multitask. And it's handy to have that, to multitask, especially when you're a mom or you whatever situation you are. It's fantastic. And it tends so easily to take us away of what really truly wants to happen. And in one way you can say in spirituality, well, yeah, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. Yeah, that's true. This is what's happening. And we still always have a freedom of choice where we want to bring our attention and intention. And that takes perseverance. That takes constantly coming back and breaking any kind of habit of mind so that we come in charge. You come in charge. Who's living this life? Not some distraction society, not some cell phone or a friend or the dog of the neighbors. No, you. It's your life. Do you know it's your life? It's your life. You can choose. You have every moment a choice where you want to rest your consciousness. And it's sometimes I think it's so sad. We go to school and we're taught all these things. And it's incredible to learn to write and read and think. And I often think it's so sad that we're not taught to rest as our nature. We're not taught to feel our bodies. We're not really taught most of the time, what do you want? What's your truth? Where does your heart live? I had to follow, I don't know how it was for you in school, but I had to listen to the teacher. I had to obey. And if you did it as you're supposed to do, then, in some way, you're being punished or made wrong. What is that about? So constantly you're, in a way, already in the schoolroom, in the classroom, distracted from your heart's longing, unless you have the luck that you have a teacher that really dares to kind of be outside the system or use the system in a way to really invite its students to feel for themselves, think for themselves, really help them to know what is life about, to really help them, like, okay, when you grow up and you need to know how to make a meal. You need to know what's wise to do, and you need to dress yourself. Just the basics, I feel often is not taught to us in school. The basics of really feeling ourselves and knowing what we want. So in spirituality could be a way. It's your choice to be here. I'm not telling you to be here. I'm happy you're here. But it's your choice to be here. And I invite you to really find out, what is your heart's longing? What wants to be lived as you? Where do you want to rest your consciousness? Because when we rest our consciousness, first of all, in our true beloved, first and foremost, to learn to rest as your nature. That's the invitation. You have a choice to do that or not, but that's what I'm offering here. The more we rest as our nature, the more you rest as your nature, the more you can come in contact with your heart, with your truest nature, with your body, and feel what wants to happen here, what wants to be lived here. Perhaps that means you want to be a dancer. That's what is your expression. That is your gift to give to yourself, and through that to others. It's actually very simple what I'm saying, but it takes courage to not follow those distractions. Go do other things. As I have this afternoon 10 million other possibilities to do, and I choose no. I want to follow this. My heart's longing is right now actually to bring something forward. For that to bring forward, I need to write this writing that I need to do. And I want to really start this course with all the preparational questions that I need to answer. So I feel settled. That makes me even happy to say it. So when we follow the heart, that's where the true joy is. That's where the true happiness is. So the more then we rest back, even more and more and more, and a sense of peace comes over us. Then more and more we come in contact with our truest nature, and that will inform us. And then when we set that intention, as we did today, then it becomes a love affair. I devote all my love, all my light into my heart, into that what wants to be lived, that what wants to be brought forward, like this writing that I want to do. Then this writing, in a way, you could say, feels loved by me. Yeah. So then this writing will come to me more easily too. And we start this love affair, which seems really it's two, but truly it's all me anyways. But still in our humanity is this sense, oh, I want to bring this forward. I want to write. I just gonna take my pen later because I like to first write something down so I feel it and feel the paper. And then I know the paper will come to me. It's my longing to bring something forward, or it can be even simple, like it's my longing, for instance, I love a piece of toast with butter. So it's my longing to have this piece of toast of butter. But you know what? This piece of toast with butter longs also for me. It wants to be eaten. Why is it otherwise here? So you can feel it. It's not us only wanting life, but life also wants us. When the tree knows, I come to this tree and I hug this tree because I just love this tree starts beaming and you can feel the energy coming back. It becomes a love affair. And that's with everything, what we do in our lives. The more undivided devoted attention and intention we bring forward, we put out here, the more that so-called object comes back to us. And the more this starts flowing, in a way, you come in this flow, but in a way, my experience, more and more actually, I start resting back. Something becomes so peaceful and simultaneously so alive. And it has then its own life. It's same when you have a relationship, when you have a love relationship between two people. It's this person, then the energy between the two. But when this love affair starts happening, then there's another energy that starts happening. That starts living the relationship. That's that devotional, that is that alive love moving. And that's in the midst of that is pure peace, pure silence, pure love. and simultaneously this pure love, so deeply still and simultaneously so alive. So I hope this makes sense what I'm speaking about, because for me it's so powerful. The moment when I set intention, go for it, and stay with it, because that's the challenge for most of us. For some of us, it can be a challenge, first of all, to feel, what do I want? What is my heart's longing? Because when there's a lot of mind in the way, so to speak, or in the forefront, or a lot of trauma in the forefront, then it can be quite challenging to come really in contact with yourself. When you have, when that has cleansed out, emptied out, the more and more you're in contact with yourself, with your nature, with you, with your heart, then that knows what wants to be lived as me. Because if we don't live what that potency, that potential that is in all of us, we shrivel inside, we die, we dry out. We're here to live. We're not here to, freeze. We're here to be alive. So when that comes forward, then the next step is, okay, the clarity, and then to live it, to do it one step at a time, one step at a time, turtling on one step at a time. And yes, there will be challenges. Of course, there will be challenges. It's part of life. Keep going, keep going. And that deepens the love affair. And you just keep going. It takes everything. It really does. Everything. All the great beings. It didn't happen out of nowhere to be that great being, if that's in the so-called world, or you're sitting in the cave. It doesn't matter. Whatever you choose, when you choose it wholeheartedly and stay with it, it will be realized. If that's for you enlightenment or freedom or totally knowing who you are, when you keep staying with that, that will happen. If it is really wanting to completely know how a computer works, when you put all your attention and heart in it, it will happen. Yeah, that's what it is. It takes everything. And then it becomes the most beautiful love affair that is just touching and challenging and beautiful and annoying and incredible, because it comes from love. And in that love affair, in that process, whatever is in the way will be emptied, will be cleansed, will be purified. So we can live as how we want to live, what we want to bring forward. It's really going from utmost peace to utmost aliveness and bringing forward. So, and that's actually a process I'm in myself, because I feel I need to simplify my work, simplify my life, and more kind of making that path a little bit more narrow to really see, okay, well, what is it really what wants to happen here for me in this stage of my life? Very exciting. So some people are helping me with that, and see how that wants to come to fruition. It's very exciting when we live our heart's longing, when we live, I feel, most of you know about this, but I feel for me, this whole kidney thing that I went through, it was a big death, and everything is burned to ashes and has come to completion. And it's always like the phoenix, everything burned to ashes, and now she's flying out. So that's where I feel where I am. So that's very, very exciting for me, because I have the energy now to do that, the body to do that. And then there's clarity in the heart to live that in a deeper way. So, and we all can do that in our own way, wherever we are. We want to be alive. We want to, before last time we close our eyes, in this body, in your body, I imagine you want to have a sense like, this was a good life. I lived it well. I lived it to the best of my abilities. I did all I could. And we can give that gift to ourselves. It's very exciting. I think that's all I want to say for now. So if there's anything you want to share about the guided meditation, what you feel, what you noticed is your heart wish, or any question you have, or anything, just please unmute yourself, or how do you say that? Raise your hand, and then we can talk a little bit. I'd love to hear from you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Marlies. This is Esther Tui. May I share?
Yeah. Hi, Esther. Of course, you may share.
Oh, thank you. It was very, very helpful because the meditation, when you said allowing all of me, all of, not only all of you in the Zoom space, but allowing me to be as I am, with the thoughts and the emotions and the sensations that are occurring, and not to pretend that through meditation that I will become more numb and not feel it. It's more of really accepting all of it. And yet when the challenges of life comes, and when I feel overwhelmed, and I need a raft from other support around me, from people who are significant to me, I'm not sensing all of that within me, because I feel like I have to be different to be accepted by the roles I have been playing all of my life. I have to be good. I have to be cheerful. I have to do all these things in order for me to feel like, oh yeah, this meditation is working. I'm no longer upset. I mean, does that make sense? And so I feel like I am so I feel so at times when the waves of life is overwhelming to me with pains I sense, and then constrictions I feel, and so on and so forth, I feel at a loss. How do I process this? Because there seems to be an obligation and duties of my life that is not allowing me to live the way I would have chosen if I were in my 20s. So at this time of my life, the choices that I have are, at least to me, cannot be radical. It would cause too much disruptions to other lives. So I wanted to hear what you have to share for me about balancing this, living it and feeling it, and not being able to fully go out and do what I would have done in my 20s.
Yeah. I think it's a great question. Well, first of all, it is totally honoring your experience. Wait, let me just put juice in my computer. Yeah, okay. So, first of all, completely honoring your experience, because that's real. Yeah, overwhelm is real. Yeah, pain is real. Wanting to do certain things is real. Not being able to do them is real. All these things are real. And so first, it's like acknowledging, like, wow, this is here. Yeah. And then also noticing, like, how in a way you want to work so hard on it so it's all taken care of, so you can actually relax back. You can so-called meditate and be relaxed and be able to just be that anchor. So the acknowledgement is number one. And then bringing that kindness to yourself, like, wow, this is a lot. This is a lot that I'm with in my humanity. And then what is really helpful is, can you rest back? Sometimes overwhelm is really a sense of there's some trauma, there's just too much, and it's a familiar cycle. So to break any kind of familiar cycle the simplest exercise is to breathe, to consciously breathe. On the in breath, you count to 6. And the out breath, you count to 8. Number one, no matter what happens in your life, or no matter you start sitting in meditation, the moment you say bang, it's a whole volcano that's happening, or a storm. It's a storm of the mind. And that's probably often our storms of the mind are probably even more intense than any storm on any kind of sea. But so it's a storm of the mind. And then we're taught to kind of fix that storm, to handle it. No, what we need to do is not try to fix that storm. We need to go to the body and let the body know all is well. What we do by putting our hands on our bellies and breathe. In breath on the count of 6. So let's do that just right now all together, just to see what that's like to feel that. So breathing in on the count of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then out breath on the count of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then again, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then out breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And do one round at your own pace. Just for everyone, just one round at your own pace. And then noticing what happened in your body. So let me know, Esther, what do you notice in your body?
Well, first of all, counting the breath really takes the focus out of
Exactly.
else. And my shoulders are just becoming more settled, some more relaxing sensations. So that's helpful and takes the jitters out of my mind, thinking of stories, basically.
Right.
So I noticed, though, when I was breathing the first time when you suggested, like my breath was go, like I couldn't even count. I mean, how do you count 6 times as I am inhaling? I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good practice for me to just really settle into the breath.
Right.
And into my belly.
Yeah. So that breaks that trance, because overwhelm is a trance. Yeah. It breaks the trance. We come in our bodies. Our bodies are here, and it helps to regulate the nervous system. Yeah. That's what breath does. You know, yoga and all these other things, going for walks, is wonderful. It helps to manage the nervous system. It doesn't always regulate the nervous system. So the breath, because the moment emotions comes up or something happens, something changes to the breath. We hold, becomes more shallow, comes up, comes tense. Yeah. So that helps us to come here. And then we can come into our right mind, so to speak, in the right brain. And then we can be more clear. So, but the biggest learning for every human is stop and breathe, because it breaks the trance. And there's nothing to fix, but we trained everything needs to be fixed. Of course, we want to solve everything. But we start also when there's an illness or when there's a pain or when there's a certain thought. We think we need to fix that thought. We need to fix that illness. We need to fix that whatever is there. But we forget the illness is like this and it becomes this. But truly what we are is this. So when we learn to focus and relax back, first the breath is a form of relaxation. So we step out of the mind fuck, so to speak. You step out of that, come back, put hands on belly. It's not about trying, I need to try to meditate. I need to try to relax. Doesn't work. You go to your breath. You do the counting. Very, very simple. Then everything comes more on board. And perhaps you need to do this kind of breath for 10 minutes, perhaps longer. Yeah. Or sometimes what also resets the body is just to shake the body, shake the arms, shake the legs, shake, breathe, make sounds, humming, breaks any kind of trance too. So first it's about breaking the trance, not going into the story to the best of your abilities, and come here now, which the breath does. And then if we're able to relax back into our being. And then the being will give the answer. Yeah, but that's the next step. But we always try to fix the so-called problem. So we get fixated on the problem, and that makes the mind crazy, makes the body crazy, everything goes crazy. When there is something here, some storm that we want to get rid of, or some worry, we're trained to go in it. Spirituality, you learn to step out of it. So you have perspective, and you know first who you are, that you are this pure being. And then pure being will inform you what the next step is. So you're not busy to fix anything out there. You're not treating the illness. You're not treating the pain. You're not treating the taxes. Whatever it is that is the problem, you're not treating your family. You relax back. That's the treatment. The treatment is breath, relaxing back to the best of your abilities, and then see what wants to happen. That's totally 100,000% opposite of what we're trained. So it's a retraining of brain. It's a retraining of mind. It's a retraining of the body. And it's a retraining of trusting that your nature knows. All those things that were not taught in school. Nothing that I think, well, let's say nothing is a little too extreme. Very little is taught to us in school that we can really use. Yeah, just how to relate. Well, anyways, I'm not going to go into that story. But yeah, do you get the sense? Because then from there, you come more and more into your own self. And then you can take one action when it's ready. Yeah. Because otherwise, everything comes from activation. We want to not come into reaction that creates more reaction. It doesn't work. It just does not work. Yeah. Anything that comes from fear does not work. It just doesn't. So I hope that's helpful.
Thank you for reminding me that. I knew that would have been the right, intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like when things happen, I just want to fix something, and you're right. Yeah. That fixing isn't going to do anything. That comes from my egoic tendency to fix it and make it all better,
Yeah, it's just conditioned. It's just an enslaved self, imprisoned self. Yeah. It's not personal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's so good to also meditate when you're doing really well. That's what helps in the cultivation. The more we practice, even if it's 5 minutes a few times a day, so when you're doing really well and you're cooking and you feel good and whatever, do that breathing. Breathing in on the count of 5 or 6, out on the count of 7 or 8. So you're coming in that cadence, in that familiarity. So when shit hits the fan, you can say, oh, okay, that's, oh yeah, breath, hands on belly. Oh, okay, it's easy to remember. And of course, many times you will forget till the cultivation helps you. Because you're breaking a pattern.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for your presence. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Everybody has this. Everybody sits with that. And finally in science, they are seeing also in trauma research, you don't go into the story of your trauma. It just re-traumatizes. You cry again, same crying, same thing, same whatever. Doesn't heal anything, doesn't regulate anything. And there's trauma, you kind of titrate, you go back and forth, taste the trauma, come back to your nature and go back and forth. Or you just leave it all behind, all along, and come completely back here. So that the body knows the trauma is over. Okay, anybody else that wants to share or ask a question? I'd love to know how you're doing.
Good morning. Hi, Marlies. Hi, everyone. Kali.
Hi, Kali.
I feel a lot of tension when I try to work around my fixation around sort of comparison. And I know a little bit once before in talking with you. And it feels that this is a really strong fixation that I have. And I'm just kind of starting to recognize that. And yeah, I don't know what you'd say. My senses that you may say that if I really maybe compared or like honed the mind to like allow that to do its thing, to move through, like that could be good. That's kind of my sense, but it feels like this sort of intensity that comes about, and it's so quick comparison, with anyone really, especially when like in school, comparing myself, or just in general, like doing a class and comparing myself to the teacher or how they are, or just their way of being, kind of being absorbed by that, or kind of forgetting how to stay connected to myself, I guess, when I'm sort of,
Yeah. I think I think that's a great question. So, because when comparison happens, we have almost like want to almost be right in our comparison, or we have like, I don't want to compare. So see if you can play, because it can be so painful, right? To feel that. So just to feel that painfulness, that ache inside. Yeah. So there are different ways to play with that. So first of all, just feel that ache of comparison. He or she is better, or I'm better, or whatever it is, doesn't matter. Just that ache. What is it like to just feel that ache? It's the quality of that.
It's just a grip.
Yeah. And it's a familiar grip. Yeah. So just feel that familiar grip. And then, so you can follow that all the way home, or you can play with, if you're able to, Okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm just going to compare myself with everybody. So you just milk it for 5 minutes or perhaps 1 minute, whatever. And then it's like, okay, enough. And then not comparing. And perhaps the mind can still want to go there, but okay, I'm not going to compare right now. We breathe a little deeper. Do that for a minute. And then again, for 1 minute, you milk it. You're just going to compare yourself like big time. And then, okay, 1 minute. Not comparing. And just to, it's again, making that choice. Making that choice. Where do you want to put your attention? So it's kind of a little bit of both. Playing with this, going back and forth. And then another way, well, what's deeper than that? Well, actually, there's an ache. Actually, there's a grip. Actually, that's so familiar. And then see where it brings you. See the underlying belief that's with that. What's deeper than that grip? What am I believing here? Whatever it is, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm stupid, God knows what it is, I don't know. One of those beliefs, really societal beliefs that are taught to us, that we all believe till we know it's not true. So it's something is behind that, perhaps an insecurity. I don't know, find out. It doesn't mean it's immediately gone, but it's coming to the deep, because comparison is just an expression of a hurt inside.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm feeling aware of the hurt, the fear, that there's something there that I don't really want to look at, be with.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why it feels fuzzy. When you say for 1 minute compare, I'm like, oh, well, it's more like a feeling. I'm kind of comparing, but gosh, I really know how to get to the nitty gritties like that.
Yeah. And also I think it's really important what you said, like, I don't want to feel that. We all know that feeling. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to compare anymore. I want to get rid of it. Of course you don't want to feel it because it's painful. There's something in the core that's hurt. That's why we compare. So acknowledging that. You don't have to push yourself. You can. It's just all this kind of stuff. It takes just so much love. Also what Esther was sharing, in her heart, she doesn't want to do all these things, but this happens in her humanity. What's taught to her? This happens in your humanity. In your heart, you don't want to do all of this, but it's just something that's taught, that's being lived out in you and in our society. And something doesn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, it feels like a really slow recognizing, like that it's happening, that it's so prevalent. That there's pain, and it does feel like I have to take it slow actually, because it feels so just kind of deep and core, just sort of needs, it just feels like it's a big part of something like that. It's sort of big for me.
So can you trust that? And especially because it's big for you, it's go with gentleness. Can you relax back? Can you take your time? Can you honor that part of you doesn't want to see it? Part of you does want to see it. Part of you wants to be free of it. Part of you doesn't want to be free. Honoring all these parts that we did also in the guided meditation today. Honoring all those bodies, it's just part of life.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for taking me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great question. I think Sarah wants to ask a question. Sarah, are you still?
I'm here.
You want to still ask your question?
Yeah, I know we're a little past time, so I wanted to honor that.
Are we past time, or I'm just not?
Or I was under the perception this ended at 20 minutes ago.
No. We go till 12:30, so we have enough.
Woohoo! Okay. Yeah, it's interesting holding like the desire to like wave my thing flag and then relax into hearing what other people share and feeling like the connection to those. I think similar to Kali, have like an idea of what you might tell me. And I'm curious also. Well, so my intention was being curious and trusting and like having curiosity, trust, and delight to be in the present moment. And that felt good. Actually, it was originally just curiosity and delight. And then I sent it off to universe and I got scared because I was like, wait, I need to trust that it's okay to be in the present moment. And because kind of sharing or resonance with like the first question, especially, but it doesn't always feel safe, or it feels like the world's demands. It's not okay to trust that it's going to be okay, just in case. And so I definitely feel like there's trauma, and even that's like a story, but there is a lot of resistance to feeling uncomfortable things. Like I'm okay with being delightful with the present moment when it feels delightful, but I don't really want to be delightful and trust it when it's really scary and reminds me of scary things. And I guess I'm just curious how to titrate the like feeling it and the like. It's just sometimes hard to rest in presence when there's a lot of fear.
Of course.
And safety, like fear of safety, and that this is okay, this can be happening, and it doesn't mean that the negative things I think about myself are true or will always be true. So yeah, curious about like the subtle holding of oneself and the tender part of oneself that needs a lot of reassurance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So those are a lot of things you're sharing. It's
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, because it's all connected together, It's first of all, I'm gonna ask everybody, is there anybody here that has challenges in resting back when there's a lot of fear? So basically almost everyone. Yeah. So it's very, very human when there's fear that it's not the first thing we think about or are habituated to, like, oh, let's relax back, Sometimes there's also wisdom in fear. There's well, even better than I do, there's a biological mechanism that takes care of us, survival, that when there's fear that we're gonna run, that's a good system to have. And then there can be all kinds of forms of fear, can be wisdom, and then fear can also be just unnecessary fear. So that comes more forward also around trauma, when the event has already passed, and then still there is fear of what happened or whatever. And then you spoke about this tender part, this really tender part that we all have, that we want to protect and simultaneously also want to listen to. So it all takes cultivation. That's why we practice. That when we do feel good and we are able to rest back and enjoy it, that it gets over time easier and easier and easier when there's something challenging, that we can relax back. And we don't start immediately with the biggest challenge we can imagine, but we can just start with a little challenge. Oh, okay, can I relax back? So it all takes children's steps, little steps. And it all takes tenderness towards ourselves. And to me, that's all something when it's not taught to us, as for most of us, it is not taught to us because it wasn't taught to our parents, as it is mostly not taught in our society.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a relearning, and a resetting of the mind, and a resetting of trusting our heart, trusting the unfolding. So I would say there is this fear of, can I trust? Then I think it's just a great inquiry to ask yourself, can I trust right now in this moment? Can you just trust right now that it's okay to lay down and be here over the Zoom with everyone? Can you trust that?
Mm. Yeah, it's like vulnerable, but it's nice to let it be. Like, give it automatic approval, like a stamp of approval.
Yeah.
You're in. I accept you and I love you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good to acknowledge. So you go in little steps. Yeah. So with whatever is happening in your daily life, when there's fear, can you trust? Like, okay, perhaps somewhere in you knows it will all be fine anyways. But can you first just honor, wow, there's fear. There's fear in my being. And then can I say, sweetheart, of course you're scared. No. And then is there a place to rest back? Or is there a place to hold that fear more? Or is there a place that we can say, I know there's fear and this needs to be done. I'm not going to leave you behind. It's like that. And then if you can get this mantra in, take a breath, hands on belly. Can I rest back? Take a breath, hands on belly, relax back. Just make that a mantra. Because the relaxing back in and as our nature, that's the great mother, the great father, that's our nature. All is well in our nature. Then it gets easier and easier to, within that over time, receive fear and trust. Oh yeah, all's fine. It takes time. It takes tenderness. It takes kindness. Same as you can feel the side of your head resting on your pillow, just feeling the kindness of the pillow, that softness. Yeah. It's right here, feeling the warmth of your blanket. Just that. It's all very simple, but we're taught complexities. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. And it's helpful to also hear, like, to check in when things are going well and tapping and making so that when it's especially, because I think I tap into the hurt part of myself when it's hurt. And there's not the training and the reminder that, it can be safe even though.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
Yeah. Because your nature is the true safety. Your nature is safety. Yeah.
And I can feel that. I was gonna say, I can feel that when I think of the hurt part of me as like a part that I'm in communication with. It's a young part. And when I'm like caring for the little Sarah, it's very easy to be devoted to just resting and supporting her.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And above and through all, it takes practice. It just takes practice, because we got a lot of practice for all of us. We got a lot of practice to get fucked up, right?
Yeah.
We get a lot of practice in our upbringing. If we're lucky and had wonderful, safe surroundings, then we had a lot of practice to be grounded in safety and goodness. But most of us, we don't have that. You know, it was not given to us, not because our parents were bad or stupid or whatever. They were not able to do that for themselves. So how can they give it to their own children?
Totally.
Yeah. So we're all relearning here, resetting. We're in the great human reset, not what they say in the world reset. That's another kind of reset. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But it's our inner reset. And that's to learn to locate as pure nature, as pure love, as pure being. That's the truest reset there is. Mm-hmm. That we're constantly coming back to. That takes practice. It really does. It's not for the faint at heart. It really isn't. It takes everything. And as I say many times, along the way, you will find out what everything means. It means everything. Everything that you don't need will be taken away for you to know who you really are at all times and all situations, and being able to rest there, which is here.
Thanks,
Okay.
Marlies.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take good care. Okay, I think we need to come to close for today. So I hope this was helpful for you today, this gathering. So play with practicing, really practice. Make it like a play. You know, I play to rest in my belly. Just put hands on your belly 100 times a day. Take a breath. Oh, okay. And then continue. You know, it just brings you here. Here is where it's at, not tomorrow, not yesterday. It's here, now. And the more we're coming into the breath, the more we step out of trauma, we step out of any kind of nonsense, any kind of thing that's not real. And it's possible for all of us. So thank you all so much for being here. Take really, really good care of yourself. So take good care. Thank you for coming. Enjoy yourself, and much, much love. Bye-bye.